Finland. The thought of Vladimir Putin doesn't quite come to mind at the first mention of it. But a small Finnish autonomy, the Åland Islands, is living under the vast shadow of the Kremlin. The trip begins at a central bus station. Although it may sound warm and exotic, the actual climate here is damp and cold. Åland, nearly 7,000 rocky islands, a region that encompasses an archipelago at the entrance of the Gulf of Bothnia in the Baltic Sea, just like Ukraine's Crimea. Although nowadays it is only Swedish-speaking region in Finland, Åland Islands were under the rule of the Russian Empire, and seemingly Russia's interest in the Finnish autonomy has not faded yet. So what is it like for the Finns to live right beside a neighbor that stole a part of their land? From a Ukrainian standpoint, the sound is way too familiar. The Kremlin's grip on the neighboring ex-Soviet states is evident, but it's not that easy to spot in Finland, at least not with the naked eye. The phenomena of cross-border shopping, it is a part of the Finland-Russia frontier too. The Russian language can be heard everywhere here. Special buses bring shoppers here several times a day. Russians buy everything from coffee to household supplies.
We don't have anything tasty. Everything in Russia is bad. Everything is a knock-off, a fake. We don't know what's what. There is saturated fat in everything. I like seafood. Not that we don't have it. It's just more expensive. And we don't have octopus, but my kids love it.
Even the saleswoman is Russian here, from Vyborg, a town that used to be Finland. Now, in modern-day Russia, she couldn't find a job, so she came back to Finland, so to speak.
Крым никто, Россия не забирала. Они проголосовали.
Nobody took Crimea away. They voted.
Поэтому они захотели присоединиться.
So tell me, you're from Vyborg. It used to be Finland. Do you think people would want it to be Finland again?
Now the Finns will not want it back.
The border between the two countries seems to be getting closer and closer. There are more buses full of Russians, gas stations with women who look very Russian, offering cheap cigarettes in exchange for cheap made-in-China underwear. Valima is a cross-border point between Finland and the Russian Federation. It is one of the largest customs service centers in Finland. At one point, before Crimea and Donbass, Russians would come here by the thousands. But now their purchasing power decreased drastically, and the lot here is empty.
The biggest change is in here, in border traffic, and its amount. The border traffic is decreased about 30% if you compare 2013 and 2015.
Finland strongly supported sanctions against Putin's regime. Despite closing several plants that were working closely for the Russian market, the Finns stand firm in their position. The road that leads to the very borderline is smooth and extremely neat, surrounded by farmers' fields with stacks of neatly rolled hay. There is not a spot that isn't used. The other side, though, it's hard to see what lays behind the crossing.
Russia is extremely afraid to see people leave. It started during the Second World War, and here we have about 5 kilometers of no man's land, weeds and grass, and 25 kilometers of strict limitations.
From here, remnants of the Soviet past are visible. The typical marble ceiling, the road signs, old, worn down, Soviet. This is where the Leningrad Oblast starts, even though the city of Leningrad no longer exists. Finnish border guards don't talk much about their political attitudes. Everything here is left out of sight, though plenty of security cameras are around recording every move. Ordinary citizens, though, say they share Ukrainians' pain. Russia stole a part of their land once, so they know what it's like. The Finnish government, that has been known to stay neutral, dramatically shifted its position in recent months. The country is starting to invest more in its military, increasing training exercises, and actually contemplating the thought of joining NATO, which, of course, is ruffling Russia's feathers.